Welcome everyone to day 4 of our Newton County CTAE Awareness Week. My name is Stephen Woodall. I'm 1/3 of the team of college and career readiness specialists that have been facilitating this event all week. Today, our focus is on advanced manufacturing and all of the opportunities that are available to students that want to pursue a career in that field. We have a wonderful group of panelists here today to share their expertise, their insight, and give a lot of guidance on all of the many wonderful opportunities that are available in the field of advanced manufacturing. Really quick, just a quick note before we get started. As always, I want to encourage everyone to connect with the College and Career Readiness team. Pause just 1 second for this announcement. All right. So again, I want to encourage everyone to connect with us on our social media pages. We are on Instagram, we're on Twitter, and we also have a YouTube page where we share our monthly college and career readiness workshops. Any past sessions that we facilitated are available there for your review. A wealth of information shared by some great members here, right here in the community, as well as the metro area and throughout the Southeast, all related to college and career readiness, giving insight on all of the major and minor steps that students need to take as they plan for life after high school. Now, as I mentioned, we have a great panel of guests, and I want to introduce them now. First and foremost, we have Mr. Lloyd Thurman, who serves as a facility and personnel manager at Michelin right here in Covington. Followed by him, we will have Mr. Kelly Pollard, who is the business and industry coordinator for Georgia Piedmont Technical College in the Department of Economic Development. We will also have, thankfully, Mr. Dan Murphy, CEO and president of Bridgestone right here in Covington. And we have Mr. Fred Haney, our energy and power instructor right here at the Newton College and Career Academy. And finally, we will hear from Mr. Corey Parker, who is the director of admissions at Georgia Piedmont Technical College. So with those announcements out of the way, I want to pass this right on over to Mr. Lloyd Thurman.
Well, thanks, Stephen, for inviting me. Thanks, Kelly, for extending the invitation. It's always a pleasure to talk about manufacturing, particularly when I get to talk about Michelin. So I'm excited to do that. Just a little history on Michelin. We have about 22,000 employees in North America and about 102,000 employees globally. We're in almost every country that you can name. Our main North American headquarters is here in South Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina. We manufacture tires. That's what we're known for. We also do a few little other things such as restaurant critiques and maps. So most people don't know that we do that. We have a wide range of portfolios. So if you ever see Uniroyal tires, BF Goodrich type tires, Michelin owns all of those as well. So very big company. We were in 2019. We were listed as the #1 company to work for, and I think in 2020 we kind of fell off a little bit. Advanced manufacturing, why is that important? Well, when we talk about this, when we talk about manufacturing, most people think about the old days of manufacturing. Your grandparents, when they used to go into the mill or something like that and come out all dusty and dirty and hands and knuckles all scraped up. Well, those type of days are gone. You don't see that anymore in manufacturing. Manufacturing has advanced into the 21st century. For example, there's multiple job opportunities within manufacturing. for maintenance, let's just talk about a maintenance skill. So if you decided to go through the route of maintenance, most of their work is done on a laptop. There's very little of the old way of doing things where you go out and you actually have to look for the issue and then diagnose it and then go get your wrench and then turn this knob or turn that knob. Most of it is all done through PLCs and through a laptop where it diagnoses the problem and then you go fix it. The good thing about advanced manufacturing, which I think will help you, is most students or people do not want to go to a 4-year college anymore. One, in this economy today, most people can't afford it. Two is a lot of people want to get on with their education and they like to use their hands. So it is a great opportunity as a pipeline for manufacturing to go out and to recruit those type of people. We like to partner with technical schools because they produce those type of people that we need in our manufacturing environment. We like those who are specifically looking at certain skill levels, one. Two, those who have had some type of associate degree from a technical school. And three, that continuous education from high school to a technical school benefits not only you, but benefits most manufacturers because you carry a unique skill and a unique opportunity for or a unique skill for manufacturing people like us. So the future of manufacturing is very bright, but it's only going to be as bright as the next generation. And I mean that by saying that I can't go on the streets nowadays, and I use the term streets, and go find a 23-year veteran electrician. It just doesn't happen anymore. So our pipeline to be successful and to sustain a certain skill level is through the technical schools. We have to use the technical schools and we have to use that expertise in order to pipeline or feed into the manufacturing. Now, most people, maybe you don't want to do skills and you don't want to go to technical school, but there's still opportunities in manufacturing. Besides certain skill levels, it behooves me because of more career opportunities, but there are opportunities within manufacturing outside of just going to a technical school. We like the technical schools because they offer what we're looking for, and they have a curriculum that fits exactly what we're looking for. For example, most people say, well, you're going into in a manufacturing and you're going to make $13 an hour. That is far from the truth. So we're in a pandemic. It's 2021 and we're still in the pandemic. So in 2020, a lot of companies had to either close shop or lay people off. I'll brag a little bit on Michelin. We made about $1.73 billion last year during the pandemic. It was short of our goal, but we still made $1.73 billion. People were still buying our product. In fact, we never shut down because of the demand on our product. So if you're looking for stability, you're looking for longevity, you're looking for a company that you can grow in, not just Michelin, but as a whole, manufacturing is the route to go. If you think about what's happening and what will happen in 2025 and 2035, you'll see probably a lot of electrical cars out on the road. Well, somebody has to build those cars, and somebody has to make those parts to go through that. And 99.9% of them are going to be made in a manufacturing plant. So it's important that that skill continues to turn over as we continue to grow within this new age. And I say that because I've been with Michelin over 16 years, and I'm probably one of the youngest senior people on our staff. So most of our staff has been 18 to 20 to 30 years. We have a couple of people that's been here 42 years. And they've seen the difference between when they started and where we are today. And that comes from, one, great technical schooling that are teaching the curriculum that will lead us through the 21st century. So as we move towards more electric things, we need that skilled labor to be able to move with it. I am proud to work for Michelin. I think Michelin is a great company. I feel that if you choose to make this into a career, would behoove most people to at least look at a technical school, get that skill level. I tell people all the time, you can come out of a technical school making $30 an hour right here in Covington. Two is, I think if your mindset is, I want to go to college, but I can't afford it, then go to a technical school, join a company. Most companies, I know ours do college reimbursement, which means you can come work and go to college and we will reimburse you for your fees at college. So basically you get a free education. What most people that go to four-year colleges, one of the things you hear is student loan debt. They go 4 years and they're out. When they get out, they're in $100,000 worth of debt. There's ways around that. There's a lot of other things that manufacturing can offer to help you with those type of finances. When you look at what manufacturing offers today in terms of advanced manufacturing, there is a pipeline of growth through the manufacturing. As I stated earlier, we have 22,000 people in North America. That's not 22,000 in Covington, that's in North America. So that means we have more plants throughout North America. So it also gives you an opportunity to grow within a company. You don't have to stay at one location to grow. Now, do we want you to, if you join Covington, do we want you to stay at Covington? Of course, but our goal is to grow you and to give you a better opportunity to see the world. So there's other plants within Michelin, I can say, that you can join and see different things. So I'll leave you with this. Advanced manufacturing is the future. There's no way around it. If we want to continue to be the leader in advanced manufacturing, we have to grow people. And what I mean by that is we have to start in the high schools, start educating the high schoolers on what they need to do to develop the skills to come in and help a company. I always tell people, companies gonna hire you. Only reason why they're gonna hire you is because you can help them, right? And the best way to be hireable, if you will, is to get certain skills that you can acquire and become an asset to that company. So I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you this afternoon, and I think what Stephen and Kelly and the GPTC team is doing is right on line with what the manufacturers are looking for. So thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Kelly, for the opportunity.
Thanks so much, Mr. Thurman. Appreciate you making some time for us this afternoon. And speaking of Kelly Pollard, he's up next to share some information with us from GPTC.
Thank you, Stephen. First of all, let me apologize for Coming in a little late this afternoon, but I'm here. I want to try to share my screen here if I can. If I can here. Okay, and can you guys see my screen there?
Yes, you're good.
I'm good? Great. First of all, let me say good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Kelly Pollard. I am the Business and Industry Coordinator here at Georgia Piedmont Technical College. I work under the Economic Development Department area here at Georgia Piedmont. And I've been with Georgia Piedmont now going into my 21st year. And I just wanted to say that a lot of people ask me, oh, what a long tenure, but I just want to say that the reason why I love what I do and working with Georgia Piedmont because I believe in what we do and changing lives with all kind of long-term, short-term trainings that can help people go to the next level in their lives. Just real quickly, I just want to share just a little bit about Georgia Piedmont. Just some quick facts here. Georgia Piedmont Technical College was established in 1961. It's a 2-year technical college. We're basically up under the technical college system of Georgia. There are 22 technical colleges in the state of Georgia, and we're one of them that are tasked with servicing the area of DeKalb County, Rockdale County, and Newton County. And we have a campus in our Clarkson, which is in DeKalb, and then we have our other main campus, which is in Covington, Georgia, off of exit 92. There are 3 different areas in which the technical college is basically housed. It's our credit site department that houses a lot of our credit site programs. And then we have our adult education department. Our adult education department handles a lot of our GED programs and testing and that type thing, one of the largest in the state of Georgia. And then we have our workforce development department, which is our economic development department. And that's where I come in with our workforce development division. Again, like I said, our service areas with Georgia Piedmont is DeKalb, Rockdale, and Newton counties there. Under our economic development division, our primary focus is customized workforce training. We want to make sure that our companies and employers in our service areas have the skilled employees in order for them to be competitive in whatever division or whatever career field or department in which they actually service in. And we're talking mainly Newton County, and I just want to kind of talk about Newton County because when I tell you that the advanced manufacturing industry is just booming up and is just booming off the charts there in Newton County. And our employers are counting on us here at Georgia Piedmont to be able to help them either upskill their employees or find quality people to train them so that they can come into the advanced manufacturing areas to be part of their companies and part of their families there so that they can be competitive and continue to grow their Newton County. Our business and industry training program primarily is on-demand, customized training that we offer at our campuses at Georgia Piedmont. We work also with professional development. This is high-quality, non-credit type training, and it's designed to help workers to get ahead in the 21st century workplace. When I talk about the 21st century workplace, I primarily are talking about advanced manufacturing, automations, robotics, and that type thing. When you think about manufacturing, you're not just thinking about the times old. I mean, because there is stuff that's so much more advanced now that a lot of the advanced manufacturing industries are utilizing and doing, that they're looking for skilled employees to come in to kind of help them grow. So we at Georgia Piedmont, since 2019, have been helping well over 130 something companies. We have trained over 3,000 or more employees through our economic development division at Georgia Piedmont, and over 80,000 total training hours there at Georgia Piedmont. Stephen, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, you're good. You're good.
Good, good. Our Metro Atlanta Corporate College through Georgia Piedmont provide, again, workforce training through our programs. We have one of the largest transportation training centers that's located in Lithonia that helps those who might want to get into transportation and logistics and distribution. We do the training for that, CDL training, short-term training. Georgia Film Academy. I know Kevin Lang is going to be with you guys tomorrow, and that's going to be able to share with you about the Georgia Film Academy. Many of you know that a lot of filming takes place out there in the Newton County area. They're continually in Covington area are filming or making movies and movie sets and studios out in that area. Leadership and professional development training. That's for those who want to do personal or professional development training. And then our Advanced Manufacturing Center that's located there on our Covington campus there off of exit 92 that deals with those short-term training programs that are tied into automation. We have an agency that we work with closely with to help customize our training and our curriculum through the Rockwell Automation Academy that kind of helps those employees and those students either upskill or those students that have an interest in going into advanced manufacturing get a cutting edge trainings within our programs at Georgia Piedmont. Just want to talk real briefly about our pre-apprenticeship industrial maintenance program. This is one of the programs that is offered to those who are either underemployed or unemployed. And when I say underemployed, those who are not working. Underemployed, those that are working but making less than $15 an hour. This is what this program is for those who are interested in going into that. And it can definitely be for those high school students who have an interest in going into high demand fields in advanced manufacturing straight out of high school. This is a program that you can look at that can get you directly into the door of a lot of employees that are looking for you. When I tell you that our employers are looking to hire you, they are, because I tell you it is such a competition, especially there in Newton County. But our pre-apprenticeship industrial maintenance program is basically a 15-week program. This program provides those individuals in rewarding fields in advanced manufacturing that gives you training in a lot of different areas. When I said a lot of different areas, I'm talking about high demand industries that are basically right there in Newton County that are looking for you. Within completing this 15-week training program, students walk away with what we call industrial recognized credentials. These are credentials that employers look at and know that you've actually had basic knowledge training and hands-on training in these specific areas, and they want to pull you in and basically help and let you become part of their families and their team, their locations in order for you to be able to help them grow into the 21st century of advanced manufacturing. Trainings and credentials that students earned are Lean Six Sigma, OSHA 10 training, basic forklift operation, CPR, first aid. And then there are these micro credentials that a lot of employers are looking for: blueprint reading, math measurements, mechanical fabrications, electrical relays and controls. These are programming logic controls, and then basic electricity and fabrication. These are some serious micro credentials that students can learn within a 15-week period, and then walk out with these credentials and walk into jobs that are making anywhere from $17 an hour to up to $21 to $27 an hour. Just a real quick story. We had one of our first cohorts into our industrial maintenance program that was back in August of last year. All 10 of those students, even before they completed that training program, all 10 of them had job offers from employers right there in Newton County. because they came in, the employers came in, they interviewed the students, they saw what the students were learning, and they were very excited about what these students were basically learning. And they were like, we want them to become part of our training programs. And so these students walked away within 15 weeks into career fields. And I'm talking about careers that's going to put a roof over your head, clothing, and food in your mouth for you and your families. These are the careers that I'm talking about. Careers that are basically from day one, and Lori kind of spoke to you about that, about these careers. From day one, walking away with all types of benefits along with high-end salaries to be able to keep you abroad and keep you part of their program. So a lot of employers are basically looking for students that have interest in going into advanced manufacturing. On the horizon for fall 2021, here at Georgia Piedmont, through our economic development areas, our Georgia Apprenticeship program. This is an apprenticeship program. Matter of fact, we got our first cohort that's going on now. And these are actually individuals that are actually working with companies. And these companies have actually identified these individuals and said, we want to make sure that they stay abreast of all the 21st century manufacturing training that is coming up in the areas of mechatronics, Rockwell automation, and these types of credentials. And they actually are paying their employees to go to school and also work at their location. And it's a 3-year program. That program has kicked off, and we're looking to start an evening crew actually in next month with the next cohort for the Georgia Apprenticeship program. Cybersecurity fundamentals, that's coming up. With all the automation that's going on within these advanced manufacturing fields, cybersecurity is a huge thing that companies have to look at now, because a lot of stuff is computerized, and they need to keep their computers and their equipment safe from hackers and all that. So we have developed a cybersecurity fundamental program that is going to kick off in the end of April here at Georgia Piedmont for those who might have a knack for cybersecurity and computer programming in those areas. You can get that training right through Georgia Piedmont, our economic development areas. And then our manufacturer distribution logistic ready. We're looking to train starting in September of this year over at least 50 new employees or new employees, so that we can continue to feed the workforce need there in Newton County in the areas of manufacturing. We're developing an evening welding program. Even with the advanced manufacturing, a lot of manufacturing industry, they need skilled welders. And again, these are high-end jobs that students can actually get the training at Georgia Piedmont, get that hands-on training, whether in our economic development area or in our credit programs. And I know Mr. Parker is going to talk about that a little later. But there are so many opportunities through our area, our training programs at Georgia Piedmont. We want our students in Newton County to really take a look at what's available to you. I know we know that a lot of students are not going to go on to a 4-year college or university, and we're not knocking that. But we want you to know that there are options out there that will get you into careers, again, that's going to put food on your table, put roof over your head, and put clothing on your body for you and your families. And you can get that training right here at Georgia Piedmont Technical College. I'm going to put in in the chat room box my contact information, email information, and that type thing. But you can reach out to me or Mr. Kevin Lang at Georgia Piedmont. If you have interest in any of our training programs, please reach out to us and let us walk you through it, and let us help you find that great and right fit for you, because we want you to be able to take advantage of the resource right in the county of Newton County to kind of help our employees here. Great. Any questions?
All right, thanks so much, Mr. Pollard. We are going to do a Q&A session towards the end.
Okay.
Also, if you have any questions, please put it in the Q&A box, and we will have our panelists address your specific questions. So thank you, Mr. Pollard. Awesome opportunities, immense amount of opportunities available for students here right here in Newton County. And
Exactly.
now I am going to pass it on to Mr. Dan Murphy.
Thank you, Mr. Woodall. Can you hear me?
Yes, you are good.
All right, I'm going to share a screen, hopefully. There you go. How's my volume? All right?
Yes, you're good to go.
Yep,
Good,
you're
good.
good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So thanks for the opportunity to say hello today. I'm Dan Murphy. I'm the CEO at Bridgestone Golf. We're located right here in Covington. Mr. Pollard, I was listening to your words, and you are very, very right that this is a hot job market, and manufacturers like us are looking for qualified candidates. So we really appreciate what you do, and your words were totally accurate that it is a worker's market, if you will, that if you have the right skills and the right opportunity, not only Bridgestone, but others that we're competing with, frankly, are very interested in knowing more about you. So my purpose today was going to be to tell you a little bit about Bridgestone, just introduce you to who we are, and tell you about our company, tell you a little bit about how we go to market, how do we make it, how do we make our golf balls, very, very briefly, and then show you where you can find out more information about our open positions. Let me just change something around. So, all right, we're good to go. So we are part of Bridgestone Tire and Rubber. It's a big, big tire and rubber company, biggest one in the world, based in Tokyo. And you know, it offers us tremendous resources from a depth perspective, a stability perspective, and engineering perspective. And a lot of people ask me, we make golf balls and they make tires. What do those two things have to do with each other? Well, both are advanced manufacturing examples. Both of them also employ polymer science to make the way that a tire interacts with a road surface and the way that a golf ball interacts with a golf club. Both of those are pretty violent interactions, and so the material and the shape of the product has a lot to do with how it's done successfully. So, although people think golf balls and tires are a disconnect, they're actually very, very similar. Like I mentioned, we're here. We make golf balls here. We have a little slogan for our local marketing efforts: "Made here, played here." We're right next to General Mills on exit 93. We've been here since 1990, so about 30 years now. We employ 160 people, and we make a lot of golf balls. I can't tell you how much because that's a trade secret, but I will tell you a little bit more about it. We started the plant a long time ago. It was a relatively small first stage in 1990, and as our business grew, we kept adding parts and pieces on to where we are currently. We're situated on about 30 acres, not far from where that town center construction is. Our golf ball plant looks a lot like a tire plant in a way, but in a miniature version. It starts in one end of the plant with rubber mixing. And rubber mixing basically means you get raw materials, you mix them up like a dough in a cake, add some chemicals that are appropriate to it, mix them up, and then the next step is for extrusion. Push it through a high pressure tube, and it creates little cores that are measured very precisely and very purposefully into the right size and the right weight. Lots of quality checks along the way, of course. We then put those cores into a cure press. A cure press is essentially a big oven, and that oven reshapes those cores into round balls and puts a lot of pressure on those. It vulcanizes the rubber, makes it very hard and bouncy, and the characteristic that we need in a golf ball. From cure press, it goes to core grinding. When we put the cover on the golf ball, on the cover of the core, it has to be a very precise measurement, and so our core grinding stop along the way is very, very important. So we grind the ball down to rough up the surface so the cover adheres to it, and we also make it into the exact specification that it needs. We have two different lines that put the cover on. We have a Surlyn line, which is our mid-price product, and then we have a urethane line, which is our more premium product. The product then goes to an inspection unit. Every golf ball that we have is a hand inspected. One of the things that we pride ourselves on is making the very, very, very best product in the world, and hand inspecting every single golf ball that goes out is one of our standards. We never sell a second or a reject golf ball. We only will do first quality golf balls. We then have a packaging line, automated packaging line, and it eventually forms itself into a box with 12 golf balls in it. That's a standard pack for us. And we palletize it in the boxes and send it off to Dick's Sporting Goods, and they sell right through it. So that's a kind of a very brief explanation of what we do. I'll skip that one. We compete against some really big brands in the marketplace: Titleist, Callaway, TaylorMade. If you play golf or involved in sports in a general sense, you may have heard of these brands. So we do compete with them. They're pretty heavy-duty, entrenched competitors. We are a smaller underdog brand, so we're very entrepreneurial. We move fast and furious, and are very creative in our manufacturing and our marketing. We are represented on the professional PGA Tour golf tours, Tiger Woods, Matt Kuchar, Bryson DeChambeau, Freddie Couples. So we do have a lot of fun. It's a little bit glamorous in a way that we get to associate our golf ball with these guys. And so, the very same golf ball that our people touch every day and put their heart and soul in the making goes into these guys' hands, and they play it on the very highest end golf tournaments in the world, including the Masters here in Augusta, Georgia, just down the road. So we have a lot of fun with that, a lot of pride. This is a look at our line. We just launched a new product line a year ago, and that's really helped propel our business forward. A couple of things that are happening to our company currently is one is our brand is doing very, very well. We're competing well with that group of competitors that I talked about. And then two, the industry is really doing very well. Sporting goods, particularly sporting goods like running, bicycling, and golf, those activities that you can do with social distancing and essentially away from crowds are doing very, very well. So we're seeing a big boom in our business. And with that big boom, we are looking for people, and we're expanding our production capacity. The local news may have covered it, and you may have seen it, but we recently announced that we're expanding our production by 30%. We've gone to 7 days a week. We were 5 days a week. And so we're excited about the possibilities. We're expanding our workforce by 20 people. This is just another element of our marketing. We talk a lot about fitting the right ball. It's part of our technological basis of who we are and what we do, along with PGA Tour. Let's see, this is a little less relevant, but we're very tuned into what our golfers are doing with real high tech reading devices and computers and such that measure all kinds of crazy things: launch angles, spin rates, ball speeds, and total distance. So here's the slide I was looking at. If anybody had interest, we'd be happy to pass on to you a site that lists some of the jobs that are available. Like I said, we're expanding currently. Bridgestone.com is a place where you can go and understand what actual positions are open for us. And also at bridgestonegolf.com, if you go down to the very bottom of the bridgestonegolf.com website, and you can click on careers, and you can pull up a little bit about who we are and what we do and what jobs we might have available. So things are going well at Bridgestone. We're happy to be a active member in the community here in Covington. We love Covington and have had great success here, and we're looking forward to expanding in 2021 and beyond. And if your career path and interest came our way, we'd be thrilled to talk to you. And so I think in 10 minutes, I can't go too deeply on our advanced manufacturing, but I think you'd be very impressed with the technology, the quality control, the automation that we employ in our plant as we make, like I said, the best golf balls in the world. And with that, I don't know, I guess Q&A, Mr. Woodall, is at the end. So I hope that was okay. That was a little bit of an introduction to Bridgestone Golf. So appreciate the time, and we'll stick around for the Q&A.
All right, thanks so much. Thanks so much, Mr. Murphy. Really appreciate that, especially that workflow chart. That was fantastic to see. All right, so now I want to welcome up Mr. Fred Haney right here from Newton College and Career Academy, and he's going to share some insight with us, what goes on right here at the College Academy.
All right, thank you so much. I want to welcome you to this forum today. It is a opportunity for us to be able to hear from industry leaders. I am a career educator. This is year 35 for me, so I've been in the business of educating young people for a long time. But it's really important that we always touch base with those people that are actually out there in the field, putting it into real practice and turning out, like we said, products that are known worldwide. Here in Newton County, that is what is so important for us to understand. And when I talk to you as the students that are trying to figure out what you're going to do. And so just knowing that within your own county are companies that are known around the world, that is important. And that shows you the importance that those companies play within this community, that they're not going to let their product fail by putting their company here in this county. So that must mean that they trust us to provide them with a workforce that will be what they need. And you can see that when we looked at some of these advanced manufacturing plants, a few pictures of them, you could tell that these were not plants in which somebody would hate going to work in. These are the kind of plants that will challenge you daily as to being able to apply your skills. So what I want to do for just a second, because of me being an educator, is to stop and talk to you for just a second, because sometimes the students, myself as well, we don't know really what you mean when you talk about manufacturing. But as we stop, and if you were to even look around your room, if you're at home, if you're in this school, if you were to stop and say, okay, well, what in my room is manufactured? And then when you look around, you're probably right. Everything in that room was manufactured. And so all of a sudden you start to have a different idea of how diversified manufacturing is. And I don't want you to ever lock yourself into thinking that manufacturing doesn't apply to you. And I'm going to tell you why here in just a second. But as we look at manufacturing, we're turning a raw material into a finished product. And then finished products are being assembled into finished goods that we're then going to use. Now, advanced manufacturing, what these men so far today have been talking to us about, are those things which are going to really incorporate computers and information technology into that system. Now, what does a system need when you're talking about using computers and information technology? You need a high-performance workforce, and that's you. We need people that are not just going to be just a average worker. They need people that are going to keep them on the cutting edge of technology. Anytime they bring in a new machine, they can't have a real long learning curve. They got to put it into use in a hurry. And so that's where we come in, is that high performance workforce. They're around right now in the USA. There are around 12 million people in manufacturing. And there's another 5 million that are in jobs that are supported by manufacturing. the average salary. Now, when I say average, we're talking highs, lows, and we're talking about in the middle. And when we include benefits, which these most of these companies are going to give you benefits that are really make it worthwhile. But the average, including your benefits, for the average is $77,000 a year. So for a long time, manufacturing in America seemed to be where a lot of people said, I'm not interested, I'm going to college. And so all of a sudden, we have to be able to say, well, we've got to debunk that, because that's not even a true statement anymore. Once we stop and go inside of these plants here locally in Newton County, you will begin to realize that no matter what path you take for your education, they're inside of those manufacturing plants. We have engineers, we have technicians, we have all sorts of jobs, and I'll share that in a minute with you. But even if one were to say, no, I'm not interested in manufacturing, I'm going to college, that's a false statement, because a lot of times it's just a lack of knowledge that makes them say that. And in reality, the fact is like I was saying, there are engineers and all sorts of people with college degrees within these within these manufacturing plants. So it's important that we understand that so many careers are supported in manufacturing here that we sometimes limit ourselves to just saying, no, that's not for me. When we think about it, just talking about manufacturing, what it can incorporate, if you were to talk about project production, well, you're talking about Lockheed up in Marietta, and they are they're manufacturing airplanes. Think about an airplane, what kind of a plant that takes to be able to make an airplane. When you talk about mass production, you talk about cars, and you have Kia here in Georgia, mass producing cars. Process production. Here's a strange one, process production. Where is that in manufacturing? Well, if you ride right up the road to Pratt, and you will see them processing cardboard. And think about Amazon. How many cardboard boxes does Amazon need a year to ship out? And that is the idea of a continuous process of making something continue to roll off the line. Or you could even go smaller and you could get into job shop. So with custom furniture and stuff like that, where you just don't need a large batch of it. And so we have all kind of demand for skilled workers. And so you start to realize it's much bigger than my idea of when I just say, what is manufacturing? I was just thinking for a second, because we had Mr. Thurman with Michelin and talking about tires and that kind of stuff. And you just even like in a car plant, they may make one particular car 600 a day. I just said real quick, most people know what a Ford Explorer is. On average, there are about 600 Ford Explorers made per day. Well, if Mr. Thurman and his Michelin tire group gets just their Ford Explorers, they're going to have to be making about 1 million tires a year just for the Ford Explorers. And so you can see how one manufacturing plant is going to depend on the next one. And so it's real important that we have an idea of what it really involves to talk about advanced manufacturing, and not having a workforce that can't live up to what they need. And so a lot of the things, I do dual enrollment manufacturing with GPTC, and I also teach the Energy and Power course here. And I've taught manufacturing here at this school, which Mr. Pitts does now, but I do the dual enrollment part of it. And so the amount of knowledge that we need just to prepare is so much greater than it ever was before. To have a working knowledge of all these different things is so important, because this isn't a field that should ever be overlooked anymore. I have one student just graduated a year or so ago from Georgia Southern, one of the schools that offered this major, and it was a new major for them, and it was manufacturing engineering. First summer at Georgia Southern, he got an internship. Think about this, a 19-year-old student of mine, now at Georgia Southern, gets a job at Gulfstream. That's impressive. These manufacturing plants want people that are going to be able to handle the kind of workload that they're going to put in front of them. And so it's an opportunity that we don't even realize. Another student who just got interested in electronics in my classroom because of the electronics that we were doing when we were studying about DC circuitry, that interested him enough that he ended up going to Tuskegee and majored in electrical engineering, and his first job and first internship was at GE up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And again, once these people get a hold of you and realize the quality of worker that you're going to be for them, they don't want to let you go. So he now has spent the last 5 years working for them full time at GE up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And now, because he had a desire to move back south because he was from Georgia, but he wanted to get back into the South. And so guess where he's working now? As an electrical engineer, he's working with a company that works for NASA. They're subcontractors with NASA. And so he's part of now starting to look at some of this Mars exploration stuff. So we're talking about you making good choices and understanding that a class that we have in manufacturing can lead you to have the skills necessary to go right into one of these jobs at our local company in any different level. And so that's what I like. Always aim high. Figure out where it is you can, one, financially afford to go, and the skill set that you have and what it is you really want to do with your everyday thing. I say don't ever find a job. Please, let's focus on you finding a career. Now, I just wanted to share, and I'll stop because I know we're going to run out of time, but I wanted to share one thing here on my screen, just this real quick to show you how important it is. And because everything we've talked about when you look at these advanced manufacturing plants is they're running off of electrical and electronic engineering people keeping those plants going because they're being run by such highly skilled people. And it talks about what they do. But just look at this. Now, this area right here, the technology skills needed. Look at this. We only have 5 of 22 displayed. Let's click this. Okay. To work in this career field, and these little flames represent the hot technology, that which are, the future is very bright in. Just being a technician in this electronic field, look at the different skills that they will have just in technology. Well, this is transferable as well, so you're never locked in and you become such a high commodity for people that people will really try to get you away from one job and into theirs because the future is so bright. But those are just the things showing you that looking at this pathway is something that we got to look at real seriously because it's very, very important. And the other thing that I was going to show you real quick, and I'll do that real quick, this was just saying, what do our manufacturing plants look like? And then I'll show you real quick that even if you were what we called a forklift driver, we're going to replace you. I'm sorry, I'm doing it.
Our customers for effective and efficient
We're going to replace a forklift driver
the driverless transport system produced as a result is called the Irish Auto Pallet Mover, APM.
And so you can see that with this,
standard production trucks have the advantage.
The world as we knew it is no longer the same. So we can't just assume I'm going to do what mom did. I'm going to do what dad did. You're going to carve your own pathway. So Mr. Woodall, I'm going to stop. I used up my time and turn it back over to you. But this is a great opportunity to hear from people in our community, tell you about opportunities.
Thank you so much, Mr. Haney. That was fantastic. And I think finally we have here to share with us Mr. Corey Parker, Director of Admissions at Georgia Piedmont Technical College, who's going to show you or talk about how you can get involved with the immense amount of opportunities that have been presented to you today.
All right, well, I want to thank you all for having me here. I'm going to attempt to share my screen as well. Hmm. Sorry, I'm moving multiple screens here and see what's. Let's try this one more time. Okay, when I go to share screen, I see my presentation, but when I click on it, it's not showing.
That's,
Looks like
click on it again. It came up. I saw it.
You did see it?
Click on it again. Okay, now go to the presentation on top.
Oh, you can see it?
Yes.
Go to presentation on top.
Okay. All right. Yeah, from my screen, it's not showing on the other screen. Okay, great. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for having me and talk a little bit about Georgia Piedmont. I'll try to be as brief as possible since I know that we are run over our time. But just to talk a little bit about us, we are one of the oldest technical colleges in the state of Georgia. I first want to let it be known that we are an accredited institution. We are regionally accredited by the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools and Commission. And what that means is that we have legitimacy out in the community. We have guaranteed transferable courses into the university system of Georgia, as well as established articulation agreements with several other public and private institutions, both in and out of the state of Georgia. Mr. Pollard talked a little bit about some of the points we have here, so we'll kind of skip through a few. I want to point out the fact that our average student to teacher ratio is roughly about 20-1, which means that we have a medium to small size classroom in comparison to a lot of colleges. And why that is important is that it allows you the opportunity as a student to be able to get some individualized attention if needed to make sure that you're successful in your coursework. We offer classes in a variety of ways, whether it be day, evening, weekend, lecture, online, and hybrid. Of course, that varies based on the program that you choose, and these are in normal times and circumstances. With the times that we live in right now with the pandemic, some of these options aren't available, but as things start to progress back into regular times, we offer most of these options. GPTC has over 70% graduation rate, which is actually higher than the national average for two-year colleges and like colleges. So students that attend Georgia Piedmont tend to be pretty successful, and they actually go on to graduate. And even more impressive, for those that graduate, over 90% are actually receiving jobs right in the field of studies that they choose. You heard earlier from some of the previous speakers that the programs that we teach are in high demand within the community, so our students are graduating and finding jobs. We won't focus here on this top 5 programs. That actually changes from year to year based on what students decide to take and so forth. But what I do want to point out at the bottom are the types of credentials that you can receive at Georgia Piedmont. There are 3 types of credentials. You can receive an associate's degree, a post-secondary diploma, or a technical certificate of credit. The difference between those two are the actual pathways and the time for completion. With an associate's degree, the average is about 2 years to complete an associate's degree based on a full-time schedule, whereas our post-secondary diplomas are about 1.5 years, and the certificates of credit are typically 1 semester to 1 year. As you can see along the bottom row, the one thing they all have in common is that they are designed to lead you into the workforce. Now, with the associate's degree, students may also want to take that and move on to a 4-year college if they decide to do so. But our primary goal is to put you to work. So with an associate's degree from Georgia Piedmont, you're able and ready to go right into the workforce. The same with the post-secondary diploma and the certificates of credit. And most of the diplomas and certificates are portions of the degree and they kind of build on one another, but that's not always the case. Some are standalone. Here's a list of some of the actual degrees that we offer. You can see that they range anywhere from the business technologies, computer information systems, industrial technologies, as well as healthcare. The list expands more as we get into the diplomas, and the reason being is that for some programs, a degree is not required to find work or for certification in that field, and you'll see that it expands more as we get into the technical certificates of credit. The reason why I wanted to cover these, because I do work more on the credit side, so we have a large variety of classes to choose from, but the importance of this in comparison to what we're talking about today as far as advanced manufacturing, as Mr. Haney mentioned before, that advanced manufacturing actually supports a variety of fields, and a lot of these programs do have transferable skills that can roll over into advanced manufacturing. For those of you that are interested or may be interested in attending Georgia Piedmont, we have a very simple admissions process. You can complete our admissions application either online or in person. For most students now, they're just completing it online at our website at the gptc.edu, but you can definitely feel free to come in person to either of our DeKalb or Newton campuses. We will need a copy of your high school transcript. If you are looking to attend, for most of you, you can just log into your Georgia College 411 accounts, and that is probably the easiest way to have your transcript sent over to us. We also require test scores. We would like, you must send a copy of your SAT or SAT scores if you have taken it, but if you have not taken it or if you feel that you performed poorly on it, that still won't prevent you from being able to start with Georgia Piedmont. You can just come onto campus and we can schedule you to take our placement exam. Our test of choice is called AccuPlacer. And to let you know, if you come in and take the AccuPlacer with us, it's not a pass-fail test. It is simply to determine where you will start. If you meet the scores for your actual program of study, you'll start classes directly in your program. If not, then you may be required to take what's called some learn support courses your first semester to kind of help build up that math reading and comprehension skills, and then start your program the following semester. Last but not least, to complete the admissions process, you must prove verification of lawful presence in the United States. That sounds like a lot, but it's really as simple as you actually submitting a copy of your Georgia driver's license or your permit if you have received one. If not, then in most cases, it's just us receiving a copy of your birth certificate. If you don't have either of those documents, we do have other options, but you will have to contact the admissions office for additional acceptable options. Last but not least, it's not a part of the admissions application process, but we do highly encourage every student to apply for financial aid. Some students don't apply because they feel they can't get it, or they say they don't want a loan, or this, that, and the third. But in actuality, you should apply, because over 90% of the students attending Georgia Piedmont are receiving some form of financial aid. And I think it was Mr. Thurman that alluded to most students' fear of attending college is that they end up in a lot of financial debt. But because we are a technical college in the state of Georgia, there are several options for you. And we actually don't even participate in a loan program anymore to help prevent our students from getting into financial debt. There's several grants and scholarships that you can receive to help pay for your program. Looking at the cost of tuition at Georgia Piedmont, we are amongst one of the lowest tuition costs that you'll find, not just in the state of Georgia, but across the country. We're only at about $100 per credit hour is what we charge. So for the average student that's going to school full-time, that's roughly about 12 credits. So for tuition, you're looking at about $1,200, and we charge about $394 in operational fees at the college, which would equate to just under $1,600 per semester. You don't have to take my word for it. You do your research and you will find that we are amongst one of the lowest. So looking at financial aid, there's two forms of aid that you can receive. There's federal funds and there's state funding. So the federal funds would be like your Pell Grant, your Supplemental Educational Grant, or the College Work Study. For the federal funds, you have to complete a FAFSA, as you can see here at the bottom of the screen, and you'll see our school code located there. Federal funds are based on the financial household income, and every student qualifies for a different amount. The more money that's coming into the house, the least amount of dependence, the more money you will receive for financial aid. Excuse me, I said that backwards. The least amount of money that's coming into the house creates a financial need, so there's more money that you receive to help fund your college studies with us. So every student qualifies for a different amount, but that's okay, because in the state of Georgia, we also have state funds, which would be your different forms of the Hope Scholarship and Hope Grants. And Georgia has made it very easy to receive the Hope Grant if you are attending a technical college. And I do want to stress this, Hope Scholarship only pays for degrees. So yes, it will assist you with a four-year college, and it'll also assist you here if you're pursuing an associate's degree. But for the majority of our students, they are pursuing one of our diploma or certificate programs, and the Hope Grant covers a vast majority of that, actually over about 70% of your tuition if you're attending Georgia Piedmont. So I highly encourage you to complete a FAFSA, because there is funding for you. We have very few students that pay all of their expenses out of pocket, if any. So be sure to complete the FAFSA, as you see here below, using our school code. And once your admissions application is complete, you will get a chance to see just how much aid you will receive to help you in your studies. I shortened my presentation just to make sure I hit the main points. So I'll give us the opportunity to move forward with any questions that you may have, and I'll be happy to go more into detail if needed.
All right. Thank you so very much, Mr.